Front row, Myatt Snyder, Austin Cindric.
And this is the part I love about COVID racing, I call it. No practice, no qualifying, first lap into the corner, 40 cars deep. Just put it to the wood and hope for the best.
Is that your style I use on Sunday? Okay, good. Now
yep, that's it. I'll figure it out when I get there.
Love it.
Hey, Snyder took the inside lane. He was the control car. That surprised you at all? Obviously, he's made it pay off here.
Well, he has for short term, but now he's stuck in the middle. 3 wide for the lead off of turn 4. This is lap number 1. Who's going to lead it? I don't know.
I think Hemrick got it.
I would say yes, Daniel Hemrick.
By 0.01. Awesome move by both those guys to get by Snyder, but it's that middle lane, right, Joey? It's that middle to high lane that always ends up prevailing with the momentum up top.
Well, and I think a lot of that is too, it's the first time in the 3 and 4, and it's the aggressor is going to win the first few laps, right? You got to go out there and attack, even though you don't know what your car's going to do. You don't know if your car's going to hit the split or not, but if you lay up, you will get used up.
For sure. And that's where a champion, Cindric, took advantage of that situation.
Experience means more now than ever. That is for sure, without practice.
Not a ton of experience here. You were on board with Riley Herbst. Keep an eye middle of your screen. Woo. Kyle Weatherman getting sideways in the 47.
Yeah, good save, though. Good save. That thing was tail wagging for a while.
Wow.
Austin Cindric starts in the outside lane. He doesn't lead lap 1, but once he got the top spot, he's starting to put some distance between himself and the rest of the field. And I like the start for Riley Herbst. Hasn't had a lot of luck this year, but picking them off one at a time from 12th to 9th. And there you see the advantage for the 22.
Roll along with Herbst on board here. This is a roof cam. It's centered in the center of the roof, and he's chose right in that middle lane to try to get that clean air and some momentum off turn 4. Turn 4 is the toughest corner, I think, at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. What do you think? Oh, buys a cam. Love this camera. This shows you the bumps. We're going to ride down into 1. Bang, 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 bang. And then it smooths out eventually.
Look at the run he's got here.
Yes.
Going to take a 3 wide top.
Outside Ryan Sieg, outside the 51 of Jeremy Clements. 20 is strong in the early going. And so is the 9. Look at Noah Gregson, started outside the top 30. He too is in the top 15, driving that 9 Bass Pro Shop car.
That car looked good on the bottom through 3 and 4. That 9 car being able to hook that on that white line. We used to always say wrapping it on the paint. That is a big deal. You see how he's able to just watch him get through the corner here. You got to get through the bumps. And it seems like he's able to just hold that bottom really well. That car is probably going to be one that's going to get towards the front here fairly quickly.
He's the best of the bunch when it comes to the biggest movers. Plus 19 for him, plus 18 for Tyler Reddick, who's coming from the back in that 23 car.
And the Vegas track is showcasing really well right off the bat on all these different lanes to develop a good lap time from.
Yeah, you got the 54 there, Ty Dillon too, right? Ty's got a ton of experience when it comes to Xfinity racing, but especially in the Cup Series, as he's gone back to the Xfinity Series in a JGR car. You expect a lot out of that car today as well.
Well, you do, because his crew chief is Chris Gale, who led Kyle Busch to a victory here a few years ago. And on that Saturday afternoon, Kyle led 199 of 200 laps. Most dominant performance on a 1.5 mile track ever in the Xfinity Series.
What happened to that 1 lap? I mean, come on, Kyle.
I think that's what we said that day.
If you're going to be perfect, I want you to be perfect. Speaking of perfect, Cindric's had a solid start to the year. Top 5s everywhere. Defending champion, and he's again just showing how he's matured as a driver. It started with those wins on the 1.5 miles last year, and it just seemed to grow and grow with good decisions, good pit strategy, good calls from the pit box. That 22 team is going to be strong this year.
I think something about Austin, obviously I get to work with him at Team Penske, and to see his growth, as a driver. When he first started his Xfinity Series, he was nowhere near the driver he is today. I would definitely put him as most improved driver in the Xfinity Series at the moment, no doubt. And that's because he works at this. He works really, really hard. I respect him a lot for that.
And he's not just finishing races, he's leading laps. He's led the most laps in every race so far this year, and he's out front again today. Off and rolling with the Xfinity Series. Tomorrow, don't miss your chance to win $10,000 of Clint Boyer's money. Download the Fox Bet Super 6 app, then correctly pick 6 outcomes in Clint's Stage 2 contest during the NASCAR Cup Series race from Las Vegas. For your shot at 10 grand, it's free to play. Enter now for your chance. You guys can't beat Clint on track anymore. Maybe you can just take some of his money via Fox Bet.
I mean, you try to take his money his whole career. We'll just keep trying to do that now.
Hey, quick update here. I mean, we see Austin Cindric leading. We're just a few laps away from a scheduled competition caution at lap 20. What do you guys notice here?
I think there's going to be some cars wanting to tune out. I've been watching the lap times. Honestly, Daniel Hemrick has been matching or been a little bit faster than Austin Cindric the last few laps.
And it looked like the guys are just starting now to come off the paint line right around the bottom. They're starting to move up middle. There's cars in 3 and 4 all the way up by the wall. So this is that time where you're trying to gather data as a driver and relay that back. Uh-oh, got a little trouble off turn 4.
Spin coming off of turn 4. And that's going to be Stephen Parsons. And we'll see, this might actually act as our competition caution. Happens at lap 17. So by the time they gather up the field, likely this will be the competition caution. Parsons was running in the 26th position.
Yeah, again, this is where you quickly relay to your crew chief. All right, I was a little bit snug here. I was sliding the tail a little bit over there. Did this as it fired off, and it did this on the long run. And that way it helps the crew chief decide if they're going to pit or look to stay out. And you have to use that against the lap times that you were just producing.
And it's always so hard doing that the first run of the race, because the first run always seems to be a little bit different than the rest as a track represent. And like, this is just cars getting tight on each other's doors. The black car, I'm not sure who that was on the outside of the 99. Just not enough room. Yeah. You need air on the doors, and you start to get loose and spin out. I was honestly looking at turn 4 at the moment. I was pointing. You could see it brewing. You know it was coming. And no harm, no foul. I'd say here he didn't hit anything. Gonna put 4 tires on it anyway.
Yeah,
no
good
biggie.
Little lesson to learn that you need side force on the right side door if you want traction.
Now, one thing we should talk about, you only have 4 sets of tires in the pits. You're going to get a stage break at lap 45, another at lap 90. You'll need at least 1 set of tires on what could be a long green flag run in the final stage. Do you pit and get tires here, or you save them up for later in the race? What do you guys think?
Man, Kurt, I think we stay. I don't know. What do you think?
I'm a guy that would stay out right now. The Vegas track doesn't wear out tires as much as a Homestead like last week. And then it's, again, like what Adam was saying, you only have 4 sets laying on pit road.
When in doubt, stay out.
And I will say this, Joey,
I made that up. I don't know.
Joey and Kurt, they're not crew chiefs, but sometimes they do play one on TV. So put an asterisk by all this advice they're giving.
We should just try to radio up a crew chief right now if we could. We got somebody on the line.
I'm sure they're bored right now.
They're like, no, we ain't talking to you. We ain't talking to you.
If they talk to us, we know what the answer is as far as pitting or not pitting, right?
True.
They're not going to tell us.
And by the way, no one pitted there, but pit road was closed. And so we have not been able to get our answer. And they're on the wall, but sometimes they just do that to make things look good, not necessarily an indicator if, in fact, they will come down and get tires and fuel here.
Well, there's always the possibility of an audible. And I always laugh when the crew chief says, well, do what they do in front of you. And if you're running 10th and half of them pit and half of them don't, then it's like, well, what do I do now? They're all doing different things. It just helps so much to have a strategy figured out when you get early in the race like this. Okay, if caution comes out before the comp caution or when it is, then you're gonna make those adjustments and know whether you're gonna pit or not.
Well, that's where the drivers just gotta take the reins and go, you know what? I wasn't running my best lap times. The car is in need of some changes, and you bail out on that track position you have and get the car dialed in and try to get back up where you need to be for a better run in stage 2.
Good start to the race for Justin Haley in the 11, running 4th. In fact, all 3 Collet cars running inside the top 7. Pit road is open this time around. This will serve as the competition caution. And there they go, driving right on by. We got a couple of takers. We'll update those next.
Checker's a wrecker sedan.
And my crew chief, he likes when I haul ass.
Checker's a wrecker sedan. Checker's a wrecker sedan.
What are you gonna do? You got in the way.
Checker's a wrecker sedan. Checker's a wrecker sedan.
Checkers.
Checker's a wrecker sedan.
I'm tuning in.
I think we found out for sure this week that Noah Gregson subscribes to the theory, if you're talking about me, good or bad, it's good for me. Checkers or wreckers? You guys like my new ringtone there?
Nice.
I'm going to call you and see if you're telling the truth right now. I'd say Noah's had a interesting start to the season because, I think of, Daytona road course. He gets out there to start the race. The car doesn't start. Then you go to Miami, obviously a very fast car. Looks like he's going to win, and then gets in a crash. Crazy.
He's been pretty good here today. Started outside the top 30 and scored in the 9th position. We're at the midway point of our opening stage. Under caution for the first time. The restart when we return on FS1. March 10th through the 13th, the Big East Tournament tips off at MSG. Will Villanova take the conference crown? Will Creighton or Seton Hall rise up? Or will a Cinderella team emerge? Catch all the excitement on Fox FS1 and the Fox Sports app. And I know you probably don't know this, Joey, because you're not necessarily a hoops guy, but you're rooting for the UConn Huskies in the Big East Tournament next week at MSG, okay?
That's right, the home team.
Myatt Snyder started on the pole. He is 10th right now.
Your left sides are above the second hashes or on the second hashes. Through 1 and 2, you're basically running only your right side tires about a tread width to 2 tread widths above it. So almost running the top set of hash marks through the middle part of the car. And then through 3 and 4, it's left sides about a tread width to 2 tread widths above the top set of hash marks.
Coaching up the young driver who got his first career win last week.
Yeah, I think we got the choose rule right here that we're watching. And then as we listened in to Myatt Snyder, the spotter, crew chief, driver, that's how you collaborate to find better lap times, and you try to find a better rhythm, and you try to grow as a driver and understand things that the spotter sees that others are doing, and then you go apply those to your car and to your rhythm for the next sequence.
I was watching the choose rule right there, and there's so much that goes into this choose. The decision of what lane you restart can be the difference of 3 or 4 spots on a restart at least, and for us it's probably even more than that. And I watched the cars go through there. It seems like the top was preferred. A few more cars would pick the top. You're almost willing to lose a row to have the preferred lane. And that seems to happen, you know, a lot, especially here. So I'm interested to see how that works, and it's different. You know, the first 3 or 4 cars might be better on the bottom, but as they go further back, maybe the top's better. It changes, and that's what these drivers and teams are really studying right now and figuring out how to take advantage of the choose rule.
What about it, Regan?
Hey, Joey and Kurt, something to keep an eye on this restart. You guys know this very well. A number of the drivers talking about the race cars picking the rubber up off the track on the tires. If they don't get these tires perfectly clean, it could be an issue. They've been comparing it to Dover, where we see that happen very frequently.
Yeah, this is a new tire combo, and so it's what we're seeing from Goodyear is they're trying to shed a little bit more rubber off of the tires. That means there's more marbles, and they all stayed out on those hot tires. Hot tires pick up rubber much quicker than the colder tires.
It always blows my mind every time the caution comes out, and you see just the car slowing down, how quickly we pick up all the rubber that was on the racetrack, and all that has nothing to stick to but its own tires. And when you don't pit, it's all on there. So you need to scrub them up. Obviously, really good to try to clean them up.
NASCAR has added a lap. We'll have 20 laps to go in the stage when we return to the green flag. And we were just talking about Myatt Snider, who won for the first time in his career last Saturday in Miami. Look at the history of this 2-car and the drivers who have won not just races but championships. Harvick did it 20 years ago. Clint Boyer picked up a title in 2008. And, of course, Tyler Reddick, who won right here at Las Vegas in his championship season, did it a couple of seasons ago. 31 wins overall. And we talk about Myatt Snider, and there's Reddick running a couple of races back-to-back for our motorsports. He was second in last week's race, but those rear heights didn't agree with NASCAR, so we got a little DQ, but he's showing once again today he's got a lot of speed.
Yeah, and don't take that the wrong way. It's not blatantly cheating. You miss the heights a little bit. You know, in the Cup cars, there's no ride height rules, and these Xfinity cars, there's still, you know, ride height rules that you have to meet. And we all push it to the edge as much as you can. That's what racers do, and sometimes you just miscalculate that maybe a little bit. Maybe an adjustment on pit road could be all it takes.
Ty Dillon taking the outside lane for the restart.
Whatever number I call, it's not necessarily if that's going to be you. It's if that many are there before you.
Yeah, I didn't realize there was 6 cars. I thought there was only 5. I thought we were going to be 6.
Yeah, there was technically 5 on the bottom. You would have been 6, so you would have stayed to the bottom if we had been going by our numbers.
Talking about the choose rule, race leader Austin Cindric takes the outside for the restart.
So far, so good. Is it Gregson going to make a move? Gregson going to make a move to these? No. He's
Down
going to
the
go
middle.
middle.
Oh,
That's right. He says, I'm bulldozing my way through here.
Look at that.
I was going to say I don't have a good feeling about this, and here he comes.
Check
a record. Check a record. All right, buddy. Let's see what you got now. You want the
he
middle?
got a fender rub. It looked like off the left front.
Does he?
The Vegas boys riding together. That's the 9 outside, the 98 of Riley Herbst. Let's go on board with Riley here.
It's a great look down the front straightaway. Everybody's trying to find the draft, and then now you're trying to find the clean air as you go down into turn 1. Where's it going to be?
Meanwhile, at the front, Hemrick able to grab the race lead on the restart.
How'd that happen? I didn't even see that.
We missed it.
There's
We're
so
here in the
many things
broadcast booth. Nice move by Hemrick, and you said it, Joe. You said he was reeling in Cindric before that yellow came out, and now he's really showing the strength. Everybody back down on the bottom with the tires kind of resetting and cooling off. They're back at peak grip.
Everyone but Tyler Reddick.
I was going to say.
No surprise there.
Here's what happened on the restart. We told you Austin Cindric chose that outside lane. That's where he was on the initial start of the race. What happens here, fellas?
Well, there's no good push on either lane right there. You see they kind of took it away from both the second row. And this looks like just a shorter distance.
Yep.
Seems like it got the 22. Shorter distance on the bottom for the 18 was able to clear him.
The 22 didn't do a good enough job side drafting on the 18 to pull him back, and so now he's paying the price by not being aggressive enough. 2
drivers coming from deep in the field. Justin Allgaier, no luck at all in the early portion of 2021, has put his car to 12th. Right in front of the rim rider, that would be the 23. We talked about him, Tyler Reddick.
He's going to be always the first guy up there, and you always listen for your spotter. Hey, is Reddick up there? Is Larson? Who's up there?
Yeah.
Let's go to
and
here we are, lead change. Let's see if he's able to clear him. If Hemrick's going to let him go.
Looks like he just let him go there.
Yeah.
A little give and take early in the race.
I would agree with that. And now you've got Cindric moving up towards the middle. It's a little smoother up there, a little bit longer distance, but with the tires, with that heat cycle, you're trying to find that rhythm again where the best lap time is going to come from.
Cindric has led 24 laps today, 5 for Hemrick, and Josh Berry made a pit stop. Didn't take on tires at that caution a few moments ago, and when you make a pit stop, you put yourself in the middle of the mess at times. Ty Dillon racing with a 7 of Justin Allgaier. What's their story, Jamie?
Allgaier on the move, started in the back. He's up to 12th now. Before the race, I talked to him about the season so far. He finished 28th, 26th, 38th. He said, I'm going to sound like a rookie here, but all I want to do is finish this race. And by the way, this is his best track statistically, average finish, 8.2. He's showing it here, flexing some of that muscle, showing that good setup they hope to have today.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great track for him when you look at the stat line, and everybody knows how good he is at Phoenix. So if ever we were going places where he can get it back on track, today and next Saturday, really good opportunities for the driver out of Illinois. We've got just a few laps to go in our opening stage, and it's Austin Cindric leading this thing. Ten laps to go, now 9. Opening stage for the NASCAR Xfinity Series at Las Vegas. Austin Cindric leading. Daniel Hemrick is second. Justin Haley has made his way to third. And his teammate A.J. Allmendinger passed Brandon Jones while we were away for the 4th position.
These guys got a good little battle here. Justin Haley in that 11, definitely looking like he has a good race car down to 3 and 4.
And these boys have been battling back here too as well. They were side by side while we were under caution. It just seems like Allgaier can't quite get clear of Herbst, and Herbst on that high side and keeping his momentum up.
Keeping him tight down there,
yeah,
too.
He is.
Hey, Jamie was talking about Allgaier needing to finish today. This early run to the top 10 by the end of the opening stage, that has to restore some confidence, right?
Yeah, but it's what we expect out of Justin Allgaier, to be honest with you. We expect him to move forward, especially here at this racetrack. You know, him being methodical on the bottom, patient, keeping the car on the line. You see him all of a sudden, he drives himself way up there. He's going to be fine.
You're just a dang racer. I'm sympathetic to the driver, and you say, oh, this is what we expect. Help me out, Kurt. Help me out.
You both are right if we really just want to be as PC as possible.
Did you just say, let's be PC? Did Kurt Busch just say that?
It's 2021, man. Lots of things are changing. We got Haley now trying to finally make the pass on him.
And that all happened off of turn 4. His exit of turn 4 is remarkable. Able to just watch Hemrick pick up the gas a little bit earlier than him, leave the bottom. He was able to stay on the bottom, got right underneath him.
Yeah, it's like a secret zone down there on the bottom side of turn 4. It's like Kenseth was using this groove way back in the early 2000s. He would just keep digging and wrapping and staying low on that inside off of turn 4.
Yeah, he just carves it right underneath him. Takes it.
Oh, that was actually more Hemrick's fault. It's like, dude, why'd you leave the door open like that, bro?
By the way, it was plus.
You're brutal, man.
Well, wait a minute. I'm talking about being PC, and now I'm brutal.
Hey, Kurt, I will say this. It was plus 25,000 at the sports book today that we would get a Matt Kenseth mention in the opening stage. So, if you played that, you hit big.
I'm not privy to insider information.
I said this. I mean, Jeff Burton has struggled a bit in the early going, but the other Kaulig cars are delivering, and so is Brandon Brown. So good at Daytona to start the year, and then last week lost a cylinder early and didn't get the fruits of their labor in Miami. But look at Brandon today. He's worked his way into the top 15, and I am happy to report that his dad is here today. Jerry, who battled cancer a year ago. We're so happy that he's with us at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and his son doing him proud in that 68.
That's great for him. Just keeps chipping away at making good decisions. It just seems like that team keeps getting stronger and stronger. So Regan, you got some more information on the 68?
Well, yeah, right now he's very happy with that race car, Kurt. He's just been working on different lines, trying to figure out where he can move around on the racetrack, as many of these drivers are right now. Biggest difference for this team from a year ago, for the reason for the increased performance, they are way further ahead. Their cars are built sooner. He's got a lot more time during the week to focus on the things he needs to be better at as a race car driver.
And what they did a year ago that I thought made a huge difference when he made the playoffs, added Doug Randolph as a crew chief, and he's a great veteran, knows what he's doing. Austin Cindric leading, but look at that wiggle.
That's that turn 4 zone, right, Logano?
It gets you. It gets you. And you know, you got a lot of wind here as well, and you're trying to play that wind. But I tell you what, they were coming down to the end of the stage here, guys, and we're going to have a battle for a stage win for sure. That 11 has just been digging the bottom. We've seen him pass Hemrick on the bottom. He's doing the same thing down here in 3 and 4. And I tell you what, as soon as you see a car get loose in front of you, there's blood in the water at that point. You're just going to start packing air and trying to loosen that car up in front of you to pass him.
Teammates Allgaier and Gregson in the top 10, racing for 7th. As we hit 1 to go, final lap, opening stage. Can Cindric hang on?
He's going to use that middle as his defense mechanism to try to at least generate some speed off the top side of turn 2, even though he is giving up the clean air down on the bottom. But now, as a defense mode, what, Joey's going to go down to the white line and try to use up all that air so the 11 can't sniff underneath him.
Right, and you can see how the 11's able to close him on him some. You know, a few more laps, this battle would have continued, but as you see, the 22 getting the stage win.
He scored playoff points in every race this year. Won the opening event getting 5, and he's won a stage now in 3 consecutive races. I'm talking about the reigning champ, Austin Cindric. Haley is second in stage 1. Then it's Hemrick, Allmendinger, Jones, Annette, Allgaier, Gregson, Herbst, and Ty Dillon scoring points as well. 10,000 fans on hand for today's NASCAR Xfinity Series race at Las Vegas. Well, 10,000 in a grandstand, at 2,500 in the suites, and it's nice to see the fans celebrating with us at the track one more time. Stage 1 is complete. Austin Cindric gets the win. The free pass here goes to Stephen Parsons. He scored 39th. 38 cars on the lead lap. Pit road is going to be busy, and that's an understatement.
That it might be the understatement of the year. There's going to be cars coming out of their pits when other cars are coming in, and it usually gets like that towards the middle of pit road. No brainer here, 4 tires.
They're heading your way, Regan Smith.
Well, Joey's absolutely right. This should be a no-brainer for these crew chiefs. The 11 car of Justin Haley, our second place car right now. You see him in the top left of the screen. That race car's too tight in the center. They're planning on the racetrack to free up right now, though, so not a big adjustment for them. On the right-hand side of your screen, you see the 22 car, Austin Cindric. He's really loose as the racetrack is taking rubber. They're going to need a small adjustment if they anticipate more rubber going down. Jamie?
Bottom left, Brandon Jones. He has Kyle Busch's Cup crew going over the wall for him as they do each week. Building tight in the center as it went on, but the balance was good. Michael Annett, great run so far. Same for him. The balance is good. Gets a little tight, doesn't want to adjust for it. It's too good, Adam.
This has been a great track for Michael Annett over the years. And as we look at the race off pit road, Daniel Hemrick going +2. Cindric losing a spot. So does Haley. And a great effort by the 17. Justin Allgaier jumps into the top 5. He gains 3 positions on that pit exchange. Let's hear from our Stage 1 winner. Let's go 22-22, Joey.
Let's jump in here. Hey, Cindric, it's Logano up here in the Fox booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
I'm not doing as good as you right now, but you also looked a little bit loose off of 4 one time. I was seeing if you got any adjustments to keep that number 22 up front.
Yeah, this car with Ford Mustang is obviously fast. Definitely a little bit on the loose side there. Justin made me work for it, so seems like we got some guys to play with. So should be a lot of fun. Try and get this Ford Mustang to victory lane by the end of the day.
Well, it's sure been fun to watch you, and you got us a little bit nervous there with a few laps to go. So thanks for keeping it entertaining, and good luck out there.
Yes, sir. No problem. Thank you.
See you, dude.
Was that like a subliminal message of some kind, Kurt? He's got it? You feel confident?
See, now
right?
he jumped into the mentor role. Hey, buddy, easy, man. You got it. You got it.
Hemrick the leader when we come back. Outstanding day in Las Vegas. We're about 15 miles north of the Strip, out here by Nellis Air Force Base. And so many great shows in Vegas. I mean, dating way back, including the Rat Pack. We created our own Rat Pack. Do you like how we lined them all up, Joey?
It's very unique in its own way, but I like it. I like it.
Jamie's looking the best, of course.
Well, it goes without saying.
Look at a little fuzzy dice up in the top right.
Who's who here?
I don't know, but Austin Cindric looks like he fits the era, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's like in place. He's in mode.
And we've transitioned back from black and white to color, and we are ready for our second stage. And unfortunately, we've had a lot of bad news to report for last week's winner, Myatt Snyder, and we've gone from bad to worse. He was coming to pit road and got some damage.
I've got the telestrator. Here we go. Focus in where the circle is. We're going to find Myatt Snyder in the white car. Watch his hood decide to rearrange itself. That was not good.
Everybody's stacking up on the pit road.
And now his facial expression looks like that. That's not good.
He's 38th right now.
You guys are going to need to bash down the hood. Yeah, the hood's pushed up, guys. Just jump on the back part of it where the windshield is.
You know, they try to fix it the best they can, but that's a very sensitive part of the race car, obviously, being right in the leading edge. That's not going to help him. We know that. It's a very fast racetrack here at Las Vegas.
But he's got to win. He's already in the playoffs. That's got to ease the tension just a bit, I've got to believe. Getting ready for the restart. Daniel Hemrick won the race off pit road. He said, give me the outside lane. 22 goes inside. And right behind Hemrick, Allgaier giving a push in the 7.
He just gets the jump right off the start. I was surprised to see Hemrick take the top, considering he got the lead on the bottom to restart before this.
Again, it just comes back to who is more aggressive in that second row and who's going to push you. But man, we got cars everywhere. Good side drafting going on. 3 wide, 2 wide. Let's see if Gregson's going to make a move. Oh, Haley closes the door.
Near contact with the 11 of Justin Haley.
There might have been a little bit of contact. It was tight.
Down through 3 and 4. Temperatures are coming up a little bit in the tires. Now they're going to get a huge run down this front straightaway.
A.J. Allmendinger is in the mix. Ty Dillon is there, making it 3 wide. In the middle is Gregson, outside a net in the 1.
Love it. He gave just enough
22
room.
loose again. Look at him get loose, get up the racetrack. He's going to lose a lot of track position, a lot of momentum down this back straightaway.
There's a net pushing Haley, and Ty's making a move down to the bottom.
He does something wrong.
Oh, yeah, he does.
He's got a flat tire.
Cindric in the 22's got trouble.
I wonder if there was contact because things got so tight on the restart.
Left rear. Yep.
And here's the problem for him. Can he get down with the field coming by? This is going to be tight.
Carve in there, buddy.
Don't want to get a penalty. And
that's turning into a hot mess fast.
And now you wonder, we're going to see the caution because he is not at speed, limps it to the apron. Meanwhile, the leaders making their way down the back straightaway.
He is in a catch-22, no pun intended there, but you cannot carry a lot of speed with a flat left rear because if it just starts to come apart, it's going to shred all the crush panels and the aero on that left rear. He's got another, mile to go before they're going to find pit road.
And it's going to take him a solid minute. He's going to lose so much time just trying to limp around not to hurt his car. He had to make pit road there. It was a very...
Oh, there's trouble in turn 2.
And this will bail him out. This caution will be huge. That is Ty Dillon in the 54 making contact with Riley Herbst in the 98.
Oh, it was a tough break for Herbst, man. I don't know what we'll have to find the replay on it to see how things unfolded, but that's a huge break for Cindric, who's still not even halfway down the back straightaway with his left rear flat. Riley's got some damage on the right front. We're gonna have to work on that.
Here's the deal. Cindric had already gone 1 lap down. So if he can limp it around here and get back to pit road without losing another lap, he could put himself back on the lead lap via the free pass and be just fine. The question becomes as we watch him, and he's over in turn 3, I believe, and the leader's coming off too. I think this might work out for the 22 car.
They might be at least get the left rears. Let's see what happened here on here. You obviously hit the bump. Ty Dillon hit the bump, the tunnel bump, gets loose up into the 1, and then here comes the 98.
Yeah, Riley had nowhere to go, running the bottom lane. That's tough, man. Usually that 54 is one of those fast cars that handles in any of the lanes. I wonder where Ty Maybe Ty was just on the loose side of things as he drove down in there.
Ty was 7th, Riley running 11th, and you saw with our Monster Energy onboard camera how hard that hit was. And no luck at all this season. It's the 3rd start of the year for Ty Dillon in that 54.
I just got free inside of him. I was fine before that. I was feeling pretty good. It just took the air off of me. He drove back in on my door.
Yeah, he got loose down there, and he's digging hard. But, man, scale of 1 to 10, the damage on the South Point car, I'm going to give it a 5. That was a tough hit.
Caution out for the 3rd time today.
Only in the door.
An unlucky day in Las Vegas for one of our hometown drivers. Riley Herbst involved in an accident that brings out our 3rd caution of the day, and he is done. There's the tire of Austin Cindric, and he might want to go to the casino tonight because he went a lap down but got the caution he needed, was in the free pass position, and even though he's 38th, he stays in the game because he will restart on the lead lap. Tomorrow, Wisconsin battles Luca Garza in Iowa on Fox. With so much still to play for on the final day of the regular season, these two conference heavyweights will look to bolster their position heading into the Big Ten tournament and the Big Dance. It's tomorrow, noon Eastern time on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Let's go to pit road and Jamie Little.
Yeah, just an update. You see the 98. They were calling for a record to push him back. So frustrating. This is the team that won both of these races last year. Riley's been leaning on Chase Briscoe, talking to him about this race, and now they are done in the 2nd stage. Meanwhile, the 54, Ty Dillon, he told me today, Adam, he has one more race in this car, and that's Talladega. He wants to race more because his goal is to get back to Cup. He said, I have to have a good run today. You see, the good news is the damage is only in the door, so they think they are good to go now to the end. Regan.
Well, a tough break for those guys, Jamie. Was actually a good break for that of Austin Cindric, able to get down here, get the tires off of the left side of that race car. They looked at the tire. It was not a knocked off valve stem like it so often is after a pit stop. They think they just ran something over on the racetrack. The plan right now to come back in, change the right side tires. A crew member did look in there with the cameras that these guys wear on their helmets, was able to get a good glimpse at the crush panels. They feel good about the crush panels that are inside the car, so they think they should be good to go the rest of the race.
Nice execution by Brian Wilson and the team. Wilson, who won an Xfinity race here 2017, I believe, with Joey Logano behind the wheel.
Well, how about that?
And with Cindric now moved back, that's one less car for Noah Gragson to have to pass at the front. He's up to 6th.
They're just wore out. They're not corded.
Yeah, how do you think I should manage Federer at the beginning of the run?
I think you just got to take it easy. Pass 30, 20 cars in one lap. Probably just take it easy first couple laps, then go.
Tempo, I'll try. I don't really know how to, but I'll work on it.
Wait a minute. Dave Ellens, the crew chief, says take it easy. The driver, as we know, says checkers or wreckers, right?
Checkers or wreckers, baby.
One of the reasons you love racing at Las Vegas, Nellis Air Force Base, right off the back straightaway. You get a free air show with your race ticket, right?
Absolutely. There's always that jet noise. You just learn to ignore it. It's so cool watching them take off and do all their practice missions. Gives you that good sense of pride. It's great to be an American.
A third of the way through our second stage, outside lane taken by race leader Daniel Hemrick.
We got Allgaier front row. We haven't heard much from him yet today, and there he is.
Yeah, more of an equal start here. The last restart, remember, Daniel Hemrick was able to score it out in front of everybody. Now they're going to be side by side down the back straightaway.
That's colleague teammates right behind him, Haley and Allmendinger.
We got 2 by 2 by 2 and 2 more. Solid uniform start. Let's see where they fan out here through 3 and 4. We got Sieg with a little bit of a rub, looks like. That could end up coming back to haunt him.
That CMR Ford 39.
Look at these guys. Nobody's able to break away. It's like they're sitting at a dinner table across from each other, side by side, all the way back.
Looks like he's going to clear him. There we go.
Makes it clear.
You got teammates side by side into turn 3. The 11 dives it down in there and able to clear Allmendinger.
Yeah, he did.
Haley's looked great today. Allmendinger has too. In fact, here's the crossover move maybe, right?
Well, he's actually trying to drop down and block a little bit.
And more trouble. There it is, Kurt.
I was saying it looked like a little bit more of a serious rub, and now there's more of a front end missing situation versus just the rub. Wow.
That's got the look of grass. I didn't see him go through the grass, but it's got the look of the grass ripping the splitter off. We'll see.
Yep, that's not good. Again, we saw a little bit of a fender rub, and it's amazing how quick things change. And he's coming through 4, and things just carves loose on him. And the thing just snaps right there. Yeah. Oh, it's a horrible place for the thing to kind of come apart. Drags the front splitter through the grass, and that car is donezo.
Yeah, you gotta assume that left rear tire was rubbing and was flat. Yeah, there you can see it's down probably.
Rough start to the season for this race team. He was top 5 in both races here a year ago. An early exit for Ryan Sieg as Hemrick leads. Part 1 of NASCAR's West Coast Swing takes us to Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Last night, Camping World Truck Series, John Hunter Nemechek got the win. Today, it's the NASCAR Xfinity Series that's hit the track, and the debris is flying. And so is the caution flag under the yellow for the 4th time today. And we're not even to the middle point of our second stage. This is debris in the grass, guys.
That's augered in.
That's
yeah.
That's a splitter. Was a splitter,
and it's demoed. I mean, it's just a shame. You know, these tracks, we, as drivers on the Cup Series side, we keep talking about, can we get some turf, some of that like sprayed on type of turf to help protect an innocent flat tire or an innocent spin, and now it turns into a destroyed car because the splitter dug into the sod. We've been talking about it for a while, but apparently you got to have the sod there for drainage and other aesthetics. I don't know. I'm getting into a box here, Joey.
I don't know. You're on your own, bud. You're on your own.
Help bail me out.
I can't say I disagree. I'm just you're doing a good job.
Hey, it's a safety thing is what I was trying to.
You're going to dig yourself in deeper in that splitter.
Hey, look, he's still out there. There we go. There's some positivity.
He's one lap down in 37th. He was running 7th when the car got away from him off of turn 4. Regan?
Well, Noah Gragson, a nice move to the front from the start of this race for him. Take a listen to him describing his race car a minute ago.
That was weird. I don't know if I'm getting our football set all the way or if I'm just hitting it, but not engaging all the way. So just need to figure it out. I think it's like tight and then a little to the loose side. Depends on where I'm at on the racetrack. So let me think.
Kurt, Joey, I've heard a lot of descriptions about a race car. I'm not sure I know what the football effect is. You guys help me out here?
I'm looking at him cross-eyed right now, trying to sort that out too.
I had no idea. Something about, I mean, there's a lot of times if you're in the bottom of the racetrack, your car drives one way, the top of the racetrack go drive completely different. I mean, you can have that stuff like that. I don't know what the football reference is about.
Maybe it's something about a Tom Brady football. It might be a little squishier than a regular football.
Pressures are trying to come up. They just have to restart.
It is pressure related. There's football stadium. We can find the analogy through there. But I think what he's getting at is there's the launches and the restarts, inside lane, outside lane. And at Vegas, this place, it can be slick if you don't have the tire temp up. That's really what I think he's referring to. Once you get the tire temp up and you get the good stickums out of the Goodyear tires, you feel better and you have more confidence. That's what Noah's trying to decide right now is how hard to push. If I jump to the left or go to the right, he's just looking for more grip, basically.
A couple of shout outs as we get set for the green flag here. Discover Denton on the car for Tommy Joe Martins. That's Denton, Texas, putting some packages together for All-Star Weekend, new sponsor for him. And he's doing them well inside the top 10, just in front of the 02 of Brett Moffitt. And the 8 of Josh Berry, both who pitted early, lost a ton of track position, but here they are, restarting inside the top 15. Our top 2, Hemrick and Allgaier, 21 to go in our second stage.
You're going to have a big push on the top. Allgaier had a good start on the bottom. And here goes Noah. He's thinking about it.
Buddy, can't go
there. Nowhere to go.
Moffitt throws it down in there, and he's going to have a ton of speed running in the middle. Got some Collett cars side by side, and Hemrick clears off turn 2. He's your leader.
Mention those Collett cars. Jeb Burton back up in the mix. And the 8 of Josh Berry we talked about moving forward. So is Brett Moffitt in the 02 working the high lane for our motorsports.
Yeah, he is. Really good run on this restart.
You see that outside lane prevail down the straightaway. But when you get down in the corner, you watch the 16 of Allmendinger, if I can say his name, down on the bottom, able to make up some more time. But not enough. Not enough momentum.
Yeah, everybody's kind of single filed against the wall on the Nellis straight. We've got a net looking to the low side early. Is that more of a block on the 11? We'll see. And there's Cindric. He's got the fishing line out now. He is reeling everybody back in.
And you know how it is, Kurt. The first 10 or 15 cars make you feel like a hero when you're going through the field. Then you get to the top 10 and things kind of slow up a little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit harder to pick through them.
He's quiet on the radio doing his deal right now, and then he'll be talking later. Okay, I got this, got that. But he'll make a good time now with those guys, and he'll look to the outside here through down in 3 and 4.
I know he doesn't want to be back there, but is this fun for a driver when you're put in the back as we see the caution out for the 5th time today? And it's an issue for the 11 of Justin Haley.
Wow, we've had some big names today having some trouble. And again, it's a guy that you'd see in the top 5 every week. What do we got here is a problem. We'll have to find out.
Yeah, and he had a really good run going. If you remember, he almost raced Austin Cindric to the end of the first stage for the win, for the stage win. So interesting to see what happened there.
One of our front runners has a problem again. With 18 laps to go in stage 2, Daniel Hemrick leads. Justin Allgaier, Brandon Jones, A.J. Allmendinger, and Brett Moffitt. Under caution for the 5th time today. We know it was a problem for Justin Haley. And there might be just a bit of a scratch left front of Josh Berry's car. You guys agree, disagree? What do you think there?
Yeah, it's
There's
a
some
scratch.
witness marks.
Yeah, maybe. Let's go to our virtual ghost cars to try to find some more evidence. Ooh, that's right where that little scrape was. Yeah, I would say according to that data.
Got some damage there.
That's a bit more of obvious data.
Well, and you can't really, even from the ghost cars, we don't have a good enough angle to show you exactly how that happened. If it was a late block or it was, a misjudge on trying to get behind somebody, really hard to say from what we got.
Good job hanging on to it, though, for Haley. Was running top 5. He's now 35th, and he stays on the lead lap. Tomorrow, the best season ever continues as the NASCAR Cup Series heads to Las Vegas. It all starts with race day right here on FS1, 2 Eastern time. Then we're off to Fox at 3, and the green flag shortly after 3:30. And Joey goes 15th. Kurt starts 7th. They each had a win here a season ago.
Look at that pretty race car. Woo, that looks like a race winner to me.
Let's just hope it makes its way through the inspection line unscathed so you can keep that 15th place starting position.
That's sexy right there. Makes me thirsty. I'm gonna
Where's
go
your
grab
race
them
car?
Oh, it's already past tech and sitting in the garage area.
All right.
We got our feet kicked up.
If I was a driver, I wouldn't want to get through because I would want to make sure I was as close to the edge as possible,
Well, that's why those 2 Penske cars are still sitting up there.
Wow. You know what? Karma might come all the way around. I mean, we'll be interested to see how this works out today.
Let's focus on today, right now, this Xfinity race.
There's an Xfinity race going on? Let's watch that.
Allgaier inside lane, inside of the control car of Hemrick on the restart. Here's what Allgaier says on the radio.
Just FYI, I felt like we were on the edge of being ahead of him at the start-finish line that last start.
Yeah, but he took off before I did. I can beat him to the line as long as he takes off first.
Yeah, I've etched in my mind that start with Chase and Blaney at Phoenix that year.
Yeah, copy that.
That was the initial start, though.
Yes. I love what Allgaier's saying right there. He knows as a driver, as soon as the leader initiates the start, it doesn't matter if it's a restart. You can beat the guy to the line.
You see a little bit of wheel spin from the 18. The 7 was able to hook him, but he's going to get side drafted back here. And here comes the 16 to maybe push along a little bit in that 7 car.
Josh Berry in the middle, 3 wide back there. And for the lead, Hemrick is able to use that outside momentum to take the lead back and start to set sail.
Some really good stories in the top 10. Junior Motorsports, that has only 2 top 10s all season long, has all 4 of their cars in the top 10 right now. Hemrick in front of Allgaier. Allgaier the best from JRM right now.
You know what's crazy is the wind angle has picked up and changed a big amount, and it's pushing the cars way down deep into 3 and 4, and you're not seeing that outside groove really help much on this initial start. It's really weird. Like, there's just lack of grip up there.
Michael Annette high to low.
They're down in 3 and 4, and that's where it's a little dicey down there as far as the grip. We'll have to see, but the inside continues to show the speed.
Really does.
Yeah, that wind is kicking. We got it on the bottom left of the screen, 16 miles per hour straight out of the southwest, which is directly down the Nellis Strait on the back, and then you get those big gusts that you got to watch out for. There's times where you'll drive into 3, right, Logano, and you're like, whoa, why am I so loose right now?
It's funny too because, well, it's not funny at the moment, but when the 3 cars in front of you do the same exact thing, everyone caught that gust of wind at the same time, and everybody blows up the racetrack. Just a crazy sensation. It's very flat into turn 3, where there's not much banking, and when you have that tailwind, you don't have much downforce, and you're going a lot faster because you have the tailwind, and it just all.
Can I add in the sun angle too? The sun bakes down on 3 and 4 way more than 1 and 2, because 1 and 2 has those billboards that create some good shade.
This is like weather on the ones with Joey and Kurt right here.
This is if you want to win races, Adam. This is what you got to decide to really jump into. So you ready with us? You got it?
Cindric, I'll tell you who's ready is Cindric. He has worked his way back to 14th. And the other thing we have to think about with him, he made that unscheduled pit stop, if you will. They're only going to have 2 sets of tires remaining here at the end of this stage, right? You agree with me on that? you not in agreement
Yes.
with that, Joey?
I
Right?
think he pitted at the same time as everyone when the caution came out. No, I think you're right. No, you're right.
Okay.
You're right. I think you're right.
Let's get an answer from
Yeah,
someone who knows.
That's a good point.
Regan, help us, please.
Help me.
I don't know if I'm right, but guys, I hope I'm right. They actually got a spare left rear tire to replace the one that went flat earlier in the race. So they're going to have a set of 3 tires that have 1 lap on them with a brand new tire on the left rear of that race car if they need to use them later on.
Better off than I thought.
We were both right.
Yeah, there you go.
Or both wrong. Maybe that's just what it was.
At least our ego tells us that. Look at Brandon Brown.
Love it. Jumping to the outside of Reddick and making up good time. He's got a little bit of damage on that left front, and here comes the 44 of Martins with a little bit of fender flare hanging out the right front. These guys are on it.
Tommy Joe Martins is the owner, the president, the driver. He does it all for that 44 group. He has worked so hard to keep them afloat. I mentioned the sponsorship today. It's great to see him running 12th. Unfortunately, here's Cindric driving by.
And you know, if you told Cindric after he had that flat tire and missed pit road that he might get stage points in the second stage, he'd probably give you a big hug because I didn't think there was a chance of that. He's moving through the field very, very good. You know, he passed a bunch of them really fast. Now it's starting to slow up a little bit, but he's methodically picking them off.
Just might get there in time to grab a couple points, but it just seems like the guys up front right now, they're the ones that are feeling the track, feeling the air, and they're the ones giving the best information back to their crew chief. And so Hemrick right now, again, that dark horse pick, a guy who hasn't won yet, and then with Allgaier, who came from all the way in the back, is running second right now, and then Dinger. There's Dinger running third. He's settling in on these oval tracks now. No problem, he says.
And Kurt, you brought up a good point there. You know, when you're up towards the front, you're able to give good, clean feedback to your crew chief on what your race car is doing in tune to clean air, right? It's where you want to be anyway. You want to be up front. You want to be in the top 5 cars. Or you want to be better than that, honestly. But when you're 15th, 10th, 12th, anywhere in there, it's very hard to give clean details of what your car's doing because there's so many variables with dirty air.
Brett Moffitt, one of the great stories of the season, Jamie.
It really is. You're talking about these smaller, lower budget teams running in the top 10. Our Motorsports, so impressive today with Brett Moffitt and Tyler Reddick. They've been impressive this season so far. They have 4 race cars for this team, second full-time year, and they're running top 10 every week. Right now, he's struggling a bit on exit, but they've been able to make this car better, and it is turning good. He's top 5 right now.
Yeah, he had a career best first race of the year down at Daytona and really has not let up since. For 13th, Jeb Burton trying to make a move, does so to the inside of Tommy Joe Martins. Santino Ferrucci is there as well. And now we look at the one of Michael Annett, having an outstanding day, and heavy hearts for he and that race team. Michael lost his father, Harold Annett, earlier this week. We pass along our condolences, and there you see the decal on the car. Harold's so big for motorsports. He took over TMC Transportation, a company out of Des Moines, Iowa, made him a big deal, started sponsoring sprint cars, and no doubt is someone that we will miss not only in the garage but across the board in racing. Our thoughts and prayers to the family and the team, and Michael, who today races, no doubt thinking about his father.
It's so hard to keep your mind clear going through something that traumatic, you know, and still, you know, preparing for a race, you know, throughout the week, and then strapping into a race car. I mean, you know, on the grid before the race starts, there's no way that cannot be in your mind. It's your dad. I mean, it's just a heartbreaking thing.
Yeah, he's racing with a heavy heart for sure, and he's doing a journeyman type of effort again. You always see Annett running up in the top group, and there he is again, still running 6th. Allmendinger looking to the inside of Allgaier. Let's see if he can make the side draft work down the back straightaway.
He's side drafted hard. He wants to get as far ahead of him as he can before they go down into turn 3, and that's what it's all about. You still have a car on your door as you go into turn 3. That car on the outside has control of you, but you can get him at your quarter. You have control of that outside car, and Allmendinger, experienced move, you know, patient on the bottom, like a catfish, just feeding the bottom there, and being able to make that pass on the 7.
And it was disciplined too, you know, not to drive in too deep with all that tailwind down the back. And here he is. He's trying to reel in the leader on the final lap for this stage, but it looks like Hemrick's going to bring her on in.
last 2 weeks, first-time winners. We said we could get a third in a row as Hemrick comes around to see the green and white checkered flag. Austin Cindric jumps back into the top 10. He will get a stage point here. Hemrick wins it, and for him, it's career stage win number 11. Allmendinger, Allgaier, Jones, and Moffitt, your top 5. We're heading to the final stage in Vegas. Millions of kids nationwide are without their normal access to sports and play due to COVID-19. That's why Fox Sports and Good Sports are restoring play for kids and the programs that serve them through donations of brand new sports equipment. Text play to the number on your screen to help keep kids in the game. 10,000 fans in the grandstand today, another 2,500 in the suites, and they're seeing a good one. NASCAR Xfinity Series is completed. The first 2 stages, and pit road is open, Regan.
Well, Adam, your leader, Daniel Hemrick, on the left side, top of your screen. That race car right now, he's got to be a little too patient with it. Can't get to the throttle as quick as he wants. It's a little too Freeman in the back, wants to step out. On the right side, A.J. Allmendinger, first time in 30 years in a race car here in Las Vegas for him. He said every crew chief's favorite words, my car is good. I don't want to be any looser or tighter. Jamie?
And Brandon Jones in the 19 said the top has been better for him so far. He wants to get to the throttle quicker, though, so a little bit of an adjustment to loosen him up. Justin Allgaier in the 7 on the right. He said he's got a vibration. It started to get worse there, so he's happy to get a fresh set of tires now. A little bit tight as well.
And the race off pit road. Great work by the 19. +3 for Brandon Jones in front of his teammate who won stage 2. That's Daniel Hemrick.
And all that to me seems like the way it came off pit road is stall selection, pit stall selection. You've seen there's still a lot of cars on the lead lap with as many cautions as we've had, And that's where the 19 was able to get ahead.
All right, let's go to the 18 car. Hey, Daniel Hemrick, this is the Fox Sports 1 booth. You got us?
The North, you can do, I'll keep saying go stop, go stop.
Hey, Daniel Hemrick, this is the Fox Sports 1 booth. You got us?
Or not, but obviously, good call there, Tony.
Oh for 2 right now, I would say, on this.
Hang on, I still got another swing at this. Hang on. All right, we're listening in on their radio. They're kind of dissecting their sequence on how the car was on the early part of the run, how it was on the late part of the run, and they're in position. All right, Daniel Hemrick, this is the Fox Sports 1 booth. You got us, buddy?
Yes, sir, I got you.
All right, solid stage 1, solid stage 2. Are you feeling the vibe right now? Things coming into play where you want them?
You can say that. I can tell you one thing, it's good to have clean air, lead laps, win stages again. It's been a while, so hats off to everyone Joe gives racing. Everyone that's probably making Toyota Supra has done an incredible job. Obviously, we've been trying to put the building blocks together and do the right things, and so one of our goals today was to try to maintain more speed, lead laps, give ourselves a shot. So far, we've done that, so see if we can keep it up.
All right, buddy, no pressure. The odds makers had you at 1,300 to 1. I've got it right there, so nail it for me, okay, bud?
Yes, sir. Y'all enjoyed the show.
How about this a year ago? Hemrick ran 21 races, led 10 laps. Already today, he's led 45 circuits, and he'll restart second behind his teammate Brandon Jones when we return to Vegas. When you come to Vegas, you got to have some fun, right? I mean, we have fun every week in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, but in particular, when we come to Sin City, here once again is the Rat Pack.
What's with the steak? Is it just to make us say, what's with the steak?
That's the sponsor from when he won the race in Daytona, right?
It is a steak.
Beef, it's what's for dinner.
Aha.
There you
When
go.
in Daytona, you get the beef.
Let me tell you, when you're hosting the show that's called The Beef, it's what's for dinner 300. I mean, that can be rough. That can be
Thanks,
rough.
Adam.
So here we are, getting ready for the restart, and Brandon Jones is the control car. He says, give me the outside lane. Now we got teammates on the front row together as Hemric drops down low.
Yeah, these are all the boys that have positioned themselves for a race win. We still have 100 to go, but this is when everything starts to unfold and the cream has risen to the top, and now it's time to execute as a driver on these couple long runs that we're going to see for these final 100 laps.
Great comeback for Cindric and Haley, both restart in the top 10.
Yeah, Allgaier's pushing hard on Jones. Is he going to make a move one way or the other? No, he sticks with him. Very uniform start. Here we are, 2 by 2 by 2 by 2, all the way back. And they're digging off too. Guys are looking to side draft. What are you seeing, Joey, as we go down into 3? Who's got what advantage?
It's a game of chicken down into turn 3. How far are you going to drive in there? It's definitely a game of chicken. And as you see, the side draft work, as Allmendinger trying to pull back the 7 down the front straightaway here. They're side drafting each other really hard, trying to get that advantage down into turn 1, which he's able to do. He was able to clear the 7 because of what he did down the straightaway, able to slow down the 7 car by getting really close to his left rear quarter panel, gave him position into the corner.
Hey, we're giving a lot of love to Jones and Hemric up front from JGR. Here's Harrison Burton in the top 10. Slow start for the second-year driver out of North Carolina, but he's worked his way to 6th. You see him there in that white 20 right in front of Noah Gragson.
Yeah, Noah's looking to the outside in 1, and he's there. But you're right, Harrison Burton's had a quiet day so far, but he's showing some of this, I guess, veteran status for Harrison Burton. And there he is. He's looking to make a move to the inside of Allgaier. Gregson's going to follow. Let's see if those guys are able to clear Allgaier. Allgaier kind of looks like he's wobbling around a little bit on the loose side and not dug down in the track like he wants to.
It is just hard to be loose on a restart, isn't it? I mean, just when you're free and you got a lot of cars around you, packing air on you, and like I said earlier, as soon as you wiggle once, everybody sees it, and they just push you harder and harder because it's an easy pass.
Yeah,
and that's what people see.
This is brewing up big here. You got Cindric
behind him
pushing hard, and that moves the 7 car back by the 9. And now it's Cindric's turn to see what he can do. But Gregson's fighting back strong, and he's a little loose. Can he hang on? He's there, but man, this is that battle point where you are trying not to give up spots. And this is that crossover, right, Joey? The short run speed, does your car have it? And you got to wait maybe for the long run speed to come in.
And it's hard to wait. You can't wait. You can't afford to lose spots. They're hard to get back over time. So you got to try to get what you can. Even if your car doesn't fire off good, you have to push and push and push and try to maintain the track position you have, or at least gain a few if you could, and then see where you're at after a few laps.
I'll tell you though, Jones powered to the outside on that restart. He is taking charge right now. Look at that lead. He's already stretched out over a second on Hemric. But these boys, you don't see it really, but in the car, these guys are elbows out right now, and their heart rates are up. They're breathing hard, and they're trying to hold their position or gain as much as they can right now.
One thing we haven't seen in this race is a clear fastest car on the racetrack. There's been times Hemric's been the fastest, times Austin Cindric's been the fastest. There's times the 11 of Justin Haley was the fastest. Allmendinger's been the fastest. It's really hard to call who's the fastest car and could win this. Clean air seems to be everything right now.
And that's what happens here at Vegas. Vegas is a sneaky track with its altitude. It's a higher altitude track. The air's a little thinner. It's the desert, so that's low quality air, so it doesn't create a lot of downforce. So when you're out front, you have that extra downforce here more than most tracks as far as that clean air, quality air feel.
There you go with the weather again.
What? I'm from here. Here we go again. It's just being a native, that's all.
It's Austin Cindric, who is 6th. If you're just joining us, he had problems when he ran over some debris on a restart, lost a tire, had gone a lap down. Luckily for him, the caution came out. He got the free pass, is driven from outside the top 30, back up to 6th. And just behind him, Gragson, Allgaier, and Berry. These are teammates from Junior Motorsports.
Oh, little wiggle out of Berry. He was trying, man. He was trying to get to the outside Allgaier, and then Haley plugs the hole. And now those guys are running side by side. Down the front straightaway, it's a headwind. I just had to throw that in there for you guys. And now Barry's got that outside groove digging. We'll see if he's able to clear him off turn 2.
Because he's got the tailwind on the backstretch.
Very good, Joey.
All right, let's check in with Jefferson Hodges from Team Penske and check in with this 22 car. Hey, Jefferson, it's Joey Logano up here in the booth. You got a copy of me?
Joey, how's it going?
Well, we're going okay up here, and it seems like you guys have made a pretty decent recovery so far. It looks like the car was loose at one point. You get a flat tire. You get a timely caution. It's been eventful, but you still have a fast car. What's the thoughts at this moment?
Yeah, it's a little bit more of a blue-collar day than we were hoping for, the way it started. But CarQuest Ford Mustang is doing pretty good, I guess, and trying to come back through here. We see if we can't do something with this 1980.
All right, well, thanks. I know you said it's a blue-collar day, but your white collar still looks nice.
The white collars always look good for the Team Penske employees. And here's Myatt Snyder, involved in an incident earlier coming to pit road when he got into the backside of Bailey Curry. And you can see he's going to have to come in once again. We've had 6 cautions today. And when you look at the history of this race, at least the last 3 races, we've averaged 5 per race, and now it appears that we've settled in to that long green flag run mode. Jamie?
Myatt Snyder came on the radio, said the gauges were flashing, perhaps maybe overheating right now. They told him to pull some tape. You see it right there to help cool it down. Maybe they were thinking about going under the hood, trying to check out what's happening. What a turn of events for this driver who just won for the first time in the series last week.
Oh yeah, don't pop that hood because they'll never get it taped back down. They got to pull the tape off the grill and just try to salvage all that they can and not blow up the motor and create a bigger bill for the engine department.
Kurt, isn't this how the sport is, though? You win one week, and the next week everything just falls apart on you. And you gotta ride the waves and go up and down and take the positives, learn from the negatives. And it's part of growing. It's part of, especially in the Xfinity Series, you're going to make mistakes. And honestly, I think mistakes are the best thing you can ever do. If you learn from them, it's a great opportunity to have the chance to make mistakes.
But like you're saying, just think about it. You got a win, and now you're going to I'm going to perfect coming to pit road. And so it's like little things like that pop up.
Now our Ford Performance track facts, and Chase Briscoe, so good here a season ago. In fact, when you look at the numbers that he put up with Austin Cindric, Ford dominated, Briscoe winning 3 of the 4 stages and was able to get the sweep. One of those coming, of course, in September when he led half the race.
Here we see it, guys. The top is coming in. I like it. I like what I see. You got a longer run. The more laps you run, the more the top becomes attractive to these race car drivers. Keeping momentum up there, and that's great signs for us tomorrow too to see that top come in.
A little action down the straightaway, there's that draft. That tailwind must have made that happen as they went down there.
Yeah, you would know.
Hey, man, if we've already talked about the weather, we've still got 89 to go, but this is when it's getting good. Look at this. You got the low lane, the high lane. These guys are now out there searching, trying to find that lap time, and the Vegas track's really coming in well with multiple grooves and options for these guys.
I like watching these two go at it, Harrison Burton and Austin Cindric, because many believed that they would be the front runners for the championship. And don't write off these two, Justin Allgaier, Justin Haley, both in the championship for last year. Here's what Allgaier has to say, running 9th with 88 to go.
Whatever change you made, completely unhook the left rear. I have 0 entry grip or exit grip.
Yeah, I told you he was loose. He was out of the track. That's right. Definitely wasn't the weather doing that. That was just an over-adjustment. They tried to change things around, and it just kind of got him on the loose side now. He's going to be wheeling it now. He's going to have to work hard all the way to the end of this race.
We've reached the second half of our 300-miler at Las Vegas for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. In charge right now is Brandon Jones, Hemrick, Allmendinger, Annette, Harrison Burton, your top 5. We'll keep it side by side so you miss nothing. I'm not sure if Joe Gibbs is smiling or he's stressed. His drivers side by side for the lead. Daniel Hemrick takes the top spot away from Brandon Jones, and Allmendinger trying to take advantage for the runner-up spot.
I loved it. It was great racing while we were watching in the double box during the commercial break. And what happened there was Hemrick used a nice pick down the back straightaway. You don't see the car up ahead, but these guys do, and Hemrick drives it down in there, and there's Myatt Snyder's a nice pick to hold up Brandon Jones and to take the lead, and it gave Allmendinger a chance to get side by side. And now finally, as we come back, you're going to see Allmendinger has made the pass for second place on Brandon Jones.
And in Myatt's defense, where was he supposed to go? They're coming too wide behind you. I'm trying to give you the bottom. I'm trying to get out of the way the best you can.
Yeah.
It's just, you can't do it. It's just racing. That's just racing.
Yep, you got to be able to predict it and use it to your advantage, and that's what Hemrick was able to do.
The Big East Tournament on Fox and FS1 next week. Myatt Snyder sets a pick on Brandon Jones. Daniel Hemrick now leads this race.
That was smooth.
Wow.
I'm a company man.
That was amazing. That's why you're a pro.
Yeah, oh yeah. Here's the big deal about this, though. 79 to go. Everybody's got to make one more pit stop. What you want to be as you enter that fourth quarter of the race is in control. Hemrick had kind of lost that. Brandon Jones had gained it. Now Hemrick's got it back as we look at Brandon Jones, who's been outstanding today. Brandon Brown. Who's been outstanding today, working up to the top 10 and around Justin Allgaier. Maybe.
Come on, Allgaier, be nice to him. Allgaier does a nice crossover and says, no way, man, you didn't have enough momentum. I'm going to carve back underneath you and take this spot back. But like you said, it's just awesome to watch Brandon Brown chip away and continue to gain speed with this team, to gain confidence in himself. This is a solid run again for the 68 car.
27 years old, out of Woodbridge, Virginia. Went to Coastal Carolina. He's kind of a youngster when you look at his career starts, but a little bit older because he went the college route and really doing a good job trying to make the playoffs for a second consecutive season. And now our Xfinity fastest lap of the day with 77 to go. Who's been setting the pace?
Well, we've had a variety of guys take the point. Curious on who does have the fastest lap. Boom. There it is, Brandon Jones.
Jones third right now. Austin Cindric in his comeback is fourth. Hemrick, who's led the most laps today, third quick when you look at our Xfinity fastest lap. Allmendinger, Allgaier good all day long as well.
And Jones did that fastest lap on that most recent restart. That's when I think it's go time, is that beginning of the final stage. And that's when you got to set the tone if you want this bad boy or not.
The top three all ran their fastest lap of the day at lap 99. How about that?
That's right.
There you go. And now they're about a second and a half or so slower than that as we're, 35 laps into this run. Tire wear is coming into play. Strategy may start coming into play with green flag pit stops as maybe some teams decide to split it right in the center. Some teams might try to go long and pray for the caution. Right? You just don't know. And it'll be interesting to kind of see how this one plays out.
Yeah, there's always that theory of short pitting and getting your tires on and then cranking out faster lap times and then holding onto your track position later. Then there's that theory of just split the deal in half, run 50, run 50. We'll see. We are definitely on the driver's side up here. We are not on the crew chief side. We've shown that we struggle on making crew chief decisions.
We've been right so far, but it's been a pretty easy race to call so far.
You're right.
It's been four tires at the end of the stage each time. But this is where it's going to get tricky, and these crew chiefs will have to start looking into this to make a call.
Wow, Hemrick is just in and around all these lap cars. That's definitely going to affect the lap time, and it's a matter, again, the game of knifing through these lap cars and keeping your lap time as smooth as possible and not having those big spikes of drop-off as you're passing lap cars.
And all it takes is catching one car in the wrong spot in the corner. You have to sometimes guess where they're going to go. You have no clue where they're going to go when they turn down into the corner. And if they go to the lane that you were planning to go to, you got to check up real big. And then here comes the car right behind you, catching you quickly. And here you see Annette, the 20 and the 11.
Great job by Justin Haley to come back. Had that spin and came down pit road, got his way just outside the top 10 at the end of stage 2, and He could be the victim of a crossover. To the apron goes Michael Annett.
Wow, that was a huge run off turn 4. He's looking to try to grab 2 spots back, but it looks like Annett's car isn't as good as it needs to be down here in turns 1 and 2. And that's where Harrison Burton kind of drives away.
It was crazy to see when Annett went to the top. Look when he goes up to the top. What we didn't see when he first went into the corner, he lost 2 spots. And then he gets this huge run, and he almost gets both spots back just by keeping that momentum up top. Unbelievable.
Speed difference, 7-8 miles per hour as he swung it down low.
Got a little wiggle out of Haley, and this is on the back bumper of Harrison Burton looking back. Boom, crossover, and it's like, here comes Annett with all that momentum.
And how about coming off of turn 4? Your spotter doesn't have the best angle at turn 4 to try to clear you on those tight clears. The speed difference from the top to the bottom is big. Like you said, 8 miles an hour difference. And you want to get up. You need the whole racetrack if you're on the bottom. You need to get all the way up off the corner. It gets tight there, and a lot of times you see contact.
You've got to know as a driver, you're the one driving, you're the one responsible. You've got to know if you're clear or not. You cannot rely on your spotter to say, quick, clear, move up, you know, because they don't know. They don't feel the momentum that the drivers do from inside the cockpit.
Jason Jarrett is spotting for Michael Annett. He was a driver, so you know he was particularly proud of what happened on that move a couple of laps ago.
Yeah, for sure. He knows what's going on. But again, it's that feel from inside the car.
And you can feel these guys, you know, even if the car's three car widths away from you, you can feel at the air where they are and what's going on with your car. And you have to, you know, anticipate what that's going to be as you come off the corner, because if you don't anticipate it, that's where you see cars get in a bind right there. They get really tight on each other's doors because they were expecting something different to happen. And that's what our sport is about. Like the experience that drivers have in those moments is what makes you know, the race car drivers great. There's so many race car drivers that can go fast, but those details, those type of details, is what really makes the difference.
Yeah, it's that good to great. You know, you got to cross over and find those other things that it makes to get to your way to victory lane.
We're in Vegas. I guess you could say aces are wild because the 11 and the 1, they're just not leaving each other alone, working around the lap car of Jade Buford. Quiet day for Jeb Burton, who's finished every race this year in the top 5 and trying to get back to the top 10 here, racing Allgaier, who continues to fight that 7.
Yeah, he's battling, and it's just too loose, and it just seems like it isn't quite calming down enough for him. But he's down on the bottom side of 1 and 2, and top side of 3 and 4.
I'd say we're 15, 20 laps away from green flag pit stops. They're going to have to come in and get service. Daniel Hemrick leading by a second over Allmendinger. The race for the lead is on. 62 laps to go at Las Vegas, and A.J. Allmendinger to the point around Daniel Hemric.
Nice move down in 1 and 2. I didn't think that following Hemric down in there was going to be the way to go, but Hemric left the door open again. Gosh, I told him earlier, but he left the door open, right, Joey? Down in 1 and 2.
He missed the bottom, and you got to go all the way to the paint and take all that air from that trailing car. He gave him just enough for AJ to pack air on him on the exit, loosen him up, get underneath him, pull him back, clear him in 3 and 4. AJ has a really good car on the bottom.
March is Women's History Month, and NASCAR is committed to supporting and empowering women in the NASCAR industry. Trailblazers like Janet Guthrie and Danica Patrick, whose 6th place finishes are tied for the highest by a woman ever in the NASCAR Cup Series. They paved the way for women in all facets of the sport today. Haley Deegan and Jennifer Jo Cobb continued to make history on track this weekend, competing in the Camping World Truck Series race at Las Vegas last night. We celebrate these and all women throughout the sport this month and all year long. And one of them working with us today, Jamie Little on pit road, who called play-by-play for the ARCA race to open the season in 2021, a couple of weeks ago. There's Jamie working hard.
Love it. Yes, they're always having fun down there, and they're working hard and getting all of the notes from all those boys down there on pit road. That's a tough job, hoofing it up and down pit road all day long.
And Pam Miller just reminded me what's happening on track. She too, another lady that's making her way in the NASCAR world. We appreciate all she does for these Xfinity Series broadcasts on Saturday afternoon. 59 to go, and there goes Justin Haley up into the top 5, and this might be a calling dance to the finish. Allmendinger leading, and Haley really looking good as he drives through the field.
With 2 separate lines. AJ all over the bottom, and Justin Haley all over the wall on both sides. So it's definitely going to be an interesting finish here. Like I said, you're getting really close to green flag pit stops here. If the cars are going to short pit it a little bit, are they going to split the stage here? I think we're going to find out here in the next 5 or 6 laps.
I love it, man. Brown is still making good progress towards the front, running the bottom, and then there's Gregson running that top side, keeping it wound up, and you'll see him just continue to close in on him on the straightaway. But it's what do they do when they get to the next corner, and it's all about how you keep your momentum through the center of the corner.
Did you see it was almost 10 miles an hour difference?
Yeah, it was awesome.
But look at when they go in the corner, look how much distance Brown gains by running the bottom, and then they get on the straightaway. Here he comes, reeling them back in. It's unbelievable. We'll watch it here one more time as they go in. Look at the distance that 68 puts on the 9.
But Gregson, he was up there in the fuzz down in 1 and 2. He was kicking up all.
He ain't gonna get it down the straightaway this time.
You're too far up there, buddy.
Checkers or wreckers, right, guys? I mean, 9 letting it hang out.
That's like your ringtone, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, he's just stepping up a little bit over the line. It's a bit too far.
You know, and a lot of that is he's the first one up there. You know, no one's been that high up the racetrack, especially at the 2/3 to exit point where he was, where that happens. Here comes the 7, Jamie.
And you guys talked about it, Justin Allgaier, we played his radio, just felt like he got unhooked in the left rear after the adjustments on the last stop. Faded, he didn't fall quite out of the top 10, but he needed an adjustment in a hurry. They decided to bring it in. You see him wipe the grill there. Should be good to go, try to get that car back like it was in the first stage, Regan.
Well, Brendan Brown continues an impressive run today. Right now, that race car is just a little bit too tight for him to be able to run the top like he wants to, but a great run for him. And then the 23 we see there of Tyler Reddick. He's doing a little moonlight and getting some experience for tomorrow with that race car.
Keep an eye on him tomorrow. Matched his career best in the Cup Series Sunday evening on Fox down at the Homestead Miami Speedway. Green flag pit stops continue as the 8 of Josh Berry comes in. Everybody in their window now to make it to the end. Jeremy Clements, back-to-back top 10s, trying for another today. And there's Reddick's teammate, Brett Moffitt, making a stop with 54 to go, Jamie.
Brett Moffitt, you see, gotten into the wall there on the right rear, doing a really nice job today. Great speed in that car. Pit crew's been pretty darn good in that 0-2 as more continue to come down pit road as well. Regan.
Austin Cindric, a very nice recovery for that race car. Right now they're getting ready to put the final set of stickers that they have on this car. Needs it to be a little bit tighter for the long green flag runs that they've been getting. Jamie.
Harrison Burton been running in the top 6. He's in now, just starting to build tight center up. Hearing that a lot from these guys. Want to free it up just a touch, but not too much, Regan.
Well, the 18 car of Daniel Hemrick finds his pit stall. That car got too loose as that run went on, especially early on in the corners. He can't run the bottom as good as the other cars around him, in particular the 16 of AJ Allmendinger. Jamie.
Michael Annette, so good to talk about him today in this run. They have been so solid, and that's how he runs every time we come to Las Vegas. Car has been pretty good. Junior Motorsports, though, hats off to them, what they've been able to do with these cars. It's been a rough start to the season, but they are turning it around here. 4 tires for Michael Annette. Regan.
Well, AJ Allmendinger having a wonderful run as the leader of this race right now. He's been working on his lines this entire race, in particular this run. He wants to be on the bottom. That's where he's got the speed. This car is a very good long run car. No adjustments for him.
Brandon Jones takes over the race lead as Allmendinger pits. Haley is now second. Jeb Burton is yet to pit. He has scored third, but all those drivers need one more stop. The last time they were on the pit lane, lap 93.
One thing I'm noticing on the majority of these pit stops is wedge wrenches down in the right rear and track bar. So let's go in with Jamie. What do you got on the 19?
Brandon Jones in the 19, he's getting the countdown. He's got your little brother's pit crew going over the wall. They're always solid, so let's see what the call is here for him. Said he was losing grip, sliding those front tires, so they need a little help with that air pressure adjustment. As you guys know, already happened before those tires go over the wall. They jack up the left side. I don't see any wedge wrenches or track bar wedges so far. They're having a problem with the gun in the left front. You see it there. And the rear changer to the rescue.
Great reaction by the crew, but that will cost them, no doubt, as they return to the track. And that puts Justin Haley in the race lead. He is yet to make a pit stop.
Hamlin, I'm wanting to run long as we can right here, just because we're down a set, you know what I mean? As of right now, we're looking at like 154, 155-ish on pit road. We should be good to about 157.
157 would be 6 laps from right now. You saw AJ Allmendinger drive by him. The Dinger had gone a lap down through the cycle of pit stops, so he has now put himself on the tail end of the lead lap, but he scored third. He'll be the race leader once things cycle out.
There's Annette driving down deep on pit road, and then he's like, dude, let's go. He's like got the horn blowing like, buddy, you're holding me up.
And that's the worst when you get on the pit road like that. They're not going the speed. Look what tires do right here. The 11 out there on old tires, Justin Haley, just hanging on, and cars are passing you left and right. And you're like, can I please pit sometime, please? I need some tires.
Jeb Burton likely saying the same thing. He was on the same strategy, but he came down from second, so he has now received his service and returns to the racetrack. Allmendinger back up to second and awaiting for Haley to pit. I'll tell you, these Kaulig cars get a lot of TV time today, right?
Oh, and that's the best thing as an owner. You always want a split strategy, right? You want a guy to pit short, guy to pit long, gives you the best chance at options.
There are the speeds, Joe. You talked about how good tires feel. How about 11 miles per hour?
Yeah, that's how much you're losing per lap. That doesn't stop until you put tires on. Now, I understand the strategy of the 11 car. They had to put another set of tires on earlier in the race. They have one less set, so they're trying to save a set here for a late caution, you know, to where they can have decent tires, have a chance to win still. So, you know, I understand the strategy, but boy, you got to, you know, take your lumps right now.
Penalty for Jeb Burton, and he was running 11th when the cycle began, removing equipment from the pit box. So Jeb Burton will have to serve a pass-through penalty, and here comes his teammate. Justin Haley gives up the lead and pitting with 46 to go, Regan.
Well, he just came on the radio and said it's really bad right now. The crew chief said, yeah, your tires are really old. It should be. That race car just a little bit too tight with the right front. Really the only choice they had here, as Joey just said, was to run this as long as they could because they don't have the luxury of that extra set.
It's the Kaulig Racing Show. Haley pits from the lead. Allmendinger is the new leader, and Jeb Burton, unfortunately, on the wrong end of this equation. He got a penalty, and here's the reason why. The gas can stays engaged, leaves the box, and that's a no-no. This weekend, NASCAR recognizes its annual celebration of Wendell Scott Tribute Weekend. This year marks the 60 years since Scott, a NASCAR Hall of Famer, made history as the first black driver to compete full-time in the NASCAR Premier Division. He later became the first to win a Premier Series event. 39 laps to go in Las Vegas for the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and the leader is A.J. Allmendinger, 2 seconds in front of Daniel Hemrick.
I love the way that Kaulig Racing has stepped their game up. They continue to do it week in and week out. I think I've got Chris Rice here on the radio. Let's go to him. Hey, Chris Rice, competition director. This is the Fox Sports 1 booth. You got us? Sir, you always come into your team meeting saying, we're not good at Homestead. We're not good at Las Vegas. Now look at you. How are you going to back your way out of this?
Well, we got to be able to finish. We haven't been able to finish yet, so we've still got a long ways to go. And it's, it's fun watching these Kaulig cars run so fast. The Ellsworth Chevy's so fast today. Justin Haley's been fast today, so you know what? It's awesome to watch it, but it's also we got to finish. You know what I mean?
No, it's great to watch it. Best of luck. I'm not going to jinx it at all. We're just going to cut this interview short. Congrats. Let's keep digging.
If we win, you can come to Victory Lane since I know this is your hometown, and we appreciate it. Thank you.
Nice. I like it. All right, let's do it.
A celebration invite. You know, Matt Kaulig, the owner, played college football, so he understands performing at a high level when it comes to big-time competition. He's made it huge in business and found his way into NASCAR, and Chris has been his right-hand man. And they have come such a long way in the last 4 or 5 years, not just in the Xfinity Series, where they've got 3 cars full-time, but also running cup races. You got to believe they'll be full-time there before too awful long, and it's been special to watch the growth. And we appreciate guys like Matt who have been committed, come here, spent the money, and made it work.
Absolutely. You don't jump into this sport and run well out of nowhere. You earn it. It takes a long time to get the right people in place to be successful in any level of NASCAR racing. Cup, Xfinity, or trucks, it takes time, and it takes patience, and it takes persistence, and it can be aggravating. But to see the success that team's been able to have here recently, as they've slowly and methodically have gotten better and better year after year, is really fun to watch for sure.
35 laps to go for the Dinger, Ringen.
Well, just to add to that conversation, Adam, AJ told me earlier today that a big part of why he loves being at Kaulig Racing is because the development of the race team and how involved he is in that. He said even through his Cup career, he's never felt as involved in the development and trying to help the race team become better as what he's been doing at Kaulig. Showing up obviously right now as he leads this race, and you can hear it in AJ's voice. He's having a lot of fun as a race car driver currently.
Oh, you're in the lead. I bet he is having fun.
No, he's doing a great job. I mean, he's been very disciplined today to run the bottom groove in 3 and 4. And that it takes a lot of discipline to make sure you get that car right down on the bottom. In 1 and 2, there's always a few more options just due to the bumps. But one thing that Dinger said before the end of stage 2, don't change a thing on my car. It's not tight, it's not loose, let's leave it. And that's where you have that mojo going into that final stage.
His lead over Daniel Hemrick just under 2 seconds. It's another 12 seconds back to third place. Brandon Jones, Cindric, Harrison Burton, the top 5, and there you see Michael Annett in 6th. This is the Toyota onboard camera on the bumper of Harrison Burton.
And when you look at that top 10 on the left side column, it is a stacked group of guys. And we talk about Allmendinger just has that one oval win. Today, they continue to execute as a solid team and continuing, like you said, Joey, to build up that notebook, to build up the layers, to create a good situation and continue to make that into a great situation for the team.
You know, Daniel Hemrick's still keeping it close, though. You see there over the left side of your screen, 1.7 seconds or so as they run right now. That's just a couple mistakes, through, lap traffic or whatnot that can really make the difference pretty quick. 31 laps to go. That's a long ways to go. You know, and who knows? I mean, Allmendinger does seem to have a long-run car. You would expect him to be able to keep stretching this. But Hemric is hanging in there really well. And as we know in NASCAR races, all it takes is one thing and the caution comes out and we go, oh my goodness, who would have seen? If you watched Miami last week, you know it's never over.
Hey, man, Hemric's got to keep it close. I got money on that 1,300 to 1, you know? He's got that dark horse pick. We're here in Vegas. I'm actually kidding. I don't have any money down. Clint Boyer's got all the money.
We're trying to take it from him still.
You have money, you just don't have any on the 18, right? Let's clarify.
That's right. That's right. I'm pushing for the 18 to try to pick this up. But, man, that group in the top 10, and then Brandon Brown in 11th, Reddick 12th, Barry 13th. I mean, the list goes down deep with these guys that are left on the lead lap.
I feel like, though, we're kind of in no man's land because the urgency is not there with 29 to go where you can smell the end. So in this position with the lead, if you're Allmendinger, what is the thought process and how much do you want to know about what's going on behind you?
I want to know everything that I can possibly know all the time. Every driver is different, though. I am a person, I want all the information I can get about any car around me, in front of me, behind me, and I'll figure out how important it is or not. But I at least feed it to me, and I'll adjust to that. But as the leader, you know, you want to know, what's second place's lap times? Am I pulling away? Is he still working through, dirty air and lap traffic? What does that look like? What line is he running? Is he finding speed up by the wall? And at that point, do I need to move up there? When is that? Those are the things that you want to hear from your spotter and your crew chief.
Yep, I'm with you, Joey. You want as much information as possible to be able to understand the lead that you have. Is it staying at 2 seconds? Is it growing to 2.5? Are the guys running the top of the wall and rim riding around making up lap time on me? You want all that information, and that way it builds up what you need to do to protect the lead.
There he goes.
I didn't think he'd be able to spin him like that.
There was contact. Harrison Burton hangs on. No caution yet. There it is.
There it is.
Wow.
Like I said, it changes that quickly.
Man, my bad. I was in this nice little trilogy of information, and I should have been talking about how that excitement was going down the front straightaway. Cindric, did he just send him?
Well, it looked to me, and we'll have to get a replay of this, so I shouldn't speak before I notice. Let's look at the replay before I say something I shouldn't say. So you see, coming off the top, 22 car, big run up top. The 20 coming off the bottom doesn't have as much momentum. And here you see, he's trying to, Harrison's trying to block the 22 from getting back to his outside, and I don't think Austin liked that.
How much is too much? I mean, I get one tap to say I don't appreciate it. When you hit him the second time, have we crossed the line? What do you guys think?
I think that caught them both by surprise. Nobody expected a car to spin on the straightaway. I mean, he's pedaling it, but that's how the cars are nowadays. The cars are loaded and set up for the banking. They're unloaded on the straightaway. I think I caught both guys by surprise. I don't think there was any, mean attack here whatsoever. Well,
I don't think so, but you do have a lot of lateral down this front straightaway, with a curved front straightaway. Your car can be on edge, especially when you pack that much air on someone. And how about Annette? I think he needs to change his shorts after this one. Look how close this is.
Well, Michael Annette said, what are you guys doing? So did A.J. Allmendinger, who is just enjoying this Saturday afternoon ride inside of 30 to go. And now, many of these teams, they have tires, and I got to ask. I mean, they last pitted with 50-plus laps to go. Do you come down here and put on that other set? And if so, where does that put Cindric, who's going to be on some older tires because of what happened to him earlier in the race?
This is where it gets a little challenging. This is where it can get split, right? Maybe someone like a Gregson and Allgaier, those guys say, you know what, maybe this might be our chance to win. They can't win from where they're at. But the best cars, man, I don't know. You put your last set on here. You had 25 laps to go.
I think you got to put tires on. I think you got to put tires. Allmendinger and Hemric have separated themselves as the class of the field, but then you have all those guys that are tail end of the lead lap. Of course they're going to pit. And so it's a matter of the feel, again, of what you need out of your car. And I think you need some 4 fresh Goodyear tires to give you that grip.
Hey, only 14 cars on the lead lap. Santino Ferrucci 15th, the first car 1 lap down. He gets the free pass. He's done an excellent job here today. Allmendinger, Hemric, Jones, Cindric, Annette, the top 5. Justin Haley is 6, but remember, he's out of balance on tires because of that spin and untimely pit stop earlier prior to the end of stage 2. What do they do with 24 remaining this time around? The answer is come to pit road and give me some Goodyears.
And look at the gap that those two have on third and everybody on back. So we'll send it down to Regan.
Well, the 18 car, Daniel Hemrick, we see him in his pit stall. That race car takes off very good. It gets a little bit too tight around lap 18, so they're pretty happy to have a short run at the end of this race. The 16 of AJ Allmendinger, his race car is just a little bit too free into the corners right now. 4 tires for him. Jamie.
19 of Brandon Jones, they had that problem with the gun on that last stop. Let's see how it is here. 19 saying, stay focused. You have a really good car here, a little bit loose into turn 1 is his main complaint. A 4-tire stop here. The 1 of Michael Annette, great save by him. He'll be coming in as well, a little bit tight.
You mentioned the advantage for Hemrick and Allmendinger over everyone else. They're 1-2 off pit road. But it's Hemrick who will have control of this race when we come back. Brandon Jones, Annette, Cindric, the top 5 off of the pit lane. 24 to go in Las Vegas. Thanks, Kevin. We're looking forward to Big East College basketball coming up next. Seton Hall and St. John's on FS1. First, we finish things up for the NASCAR Xfinity Series in Las Vegas. And here is what's happened with 23 laps to go. Stephen Parsons brings out the opening caution of the day. And then a problem getting to pit road for Myatt Snyder. Excellent work with a telestrator, Kurt.
Thank you. Got a little repair damage going on there. And then Cindric, man, that left rear, we're still questioning why it dropped its air. Got a little Ty Dillon action, got loose and sideways with Riley Herbst nowhere to go. Ah, it was a tough break.
And now you have Ty Dillon in the lead. And here you see the grass and the splitter. Getting Ryan Sieg.
Another left rear issue led to augering into the grass.
Sieg 38th, done for the day. Outside the top 10 again. This is for the lead. AJ Allmendinger taking the top spot away from Daniel Hemrick. And our 7th caution of the day, courtesy of Austin Cindric, Harrison Burton,
again, I don't think Cindric was being aggressive, but now looking at that hit, it was like, man, that's a pretty good hit.
Hey, great job by all the folks doing our cameras today, because those pictures go a long way in telling the story of this race. Hemrick wins the race off pit road in front of Allmendinger, but you alluded to this, Joey. Ty Dillon decides, I'm going to stay out, and he takes the outside lane. Restart comes with 21 laps to go.
Wowzers. We got Ty Dillon on old tires. How is he going to be able to launch here in the Geico restart zone? He did okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
But you know, at this point, he's a sitting duck. Those cars behind him are going to look for any opportunity possible to get around him with those older tires. And look what they're doing, you know, a 10th or so back in the pack. They are 3 wide. This is where you get aggressive. You get a run, you take it every time.
That's right. You don't even look, you just go.
Dillon didn't have any tires. That's why they stayed out there, and we knew he would go in the wrong direction, and he is. Hemrick is by. Allmendinger is second. Jones is there. Annette and Gregson the top 5.
Yeah, it was a fairly mild restart. I was thinking Ty Dillon would create more chaos with those older tires, but he didn't. And so now everybody's settling in, digging, and trying to crank out the best laps they can.
That doesn't look too mild back there. It looks pretty tight. Look at this battle for the lead. Allmendinger and Hemrick, this is going to be the battle. It's going to crash. Ty Dillon.
There's those old tires. Those old tires always want to sneak up and bite you. Somebody didn't get the memo on it, and there's Moffitt. Maybe he was part of that. I don't know.
Oh, boy.
And everything just starts scattering back there.
David Starr, Alex LeBay. The 17 is Garrett Smithley, who will do double duty this weekend. Racing today, first Xfinity race of the year, and he's back racing in the Cup Series event tomorrow. And I just can't express enough the disappointment for Ty Dillon, who had so much optimism driving that 54, and they've just had so many things go wrong in his 3 starts this year. Jamie?
Well, I'm listening to the chatter right now on the 54 radio for Ty Dillon. His spotter is Drew Herring. He said, guys, my radio battery died. I was switching over right in the middle of that. So I don't know if it's what led to it, but Ty said, what the heck? And he said, my radio died.
Wow. Drew Herring going to spot tomorrow for Martin Truex Jr. and just so frustrating for Ty Dillon.
Yeah, that's a tough break. I mean, here's Ty running on the outside, and there's Moffitt going high.
That's Josh Berry in the 8 down below him.
Oh.
Yeah, he just came up like he didn't even know he was there.
It does look like a classic moment of the spotter not relaying the info. Tough break, man, for both those guys. Neither one of those deserved that.
Yeah, for Moffitt even more so, because he's just trying to make the move, and he's like, well, what happened here? You know, it's not his fault the battery died on the radio, you know. And these longer races like this, cautions and stuff like that, batteries die on these radios, and you got to be able to switch them out. I know Drew is a very good race car driver. He's just switched over to spotting. Those are the things you figure out as you go, too. As funny as it sounds, it's a dead battery. But that's those things that you learn as you go.
And this is that point in the race where nobody's going to let up. Everybody's digging hard. Maybe Moffitt could have checked up, is what you're thinking? No, man, he wants to plug that hole and get to the outside of Ty. And then Ty's confused, I guess, without the radio call coming through from the spotter. Man, it's just, again, and then there's some collateral damage with those guys in the back. Sliding around, and then, yep, the O2.
Right front tire down after that crash, it looked like here.
No bueno.
Maybe some suspension issues.
Moffitt won the Truck Series Championship 2018. Running full-time in both series this year, trucks and Xfinity. Has not had a top 10 in the 3 truck races this year. Today would have been his 3rd top 10 on the season in the Xfinity Series. NASCAR Xfinity Series racing for the 4th time this season. We're in Las Vegas, closing on 15 laps remaining. Daniel Hemrick is your race leader. And you know, race car drivers, all they ever do is have fun. You guys agree with me on that?
It's a pretty good job to have.
Yes.
Okay. And the payoff is, Joey, what was happening recently when you made the trip up to Wilkesboro?
Well, I had a great time with my buddy Vaughn Gittin Jr., an amazing drifter. He's taught me how to drift. I have my Factory 5 Ford truck. It has a cup motor in it. And we drifted down the back roads. I thought I should have gone to jail for doing this stuff, but there's cops there. It was a safe place. And then we went to North Wilkesboro Speedway. Absolutely awesome to go there and bring some cars on that racetrack and drift around it. Absolutely incredible. A lot of fun. We were there all day, and I could have been there for the next 3 days doing that. We had a good time burning some rubber.
That is so cool watching that. I mean, Vaughn is an artist at it, but you're getting pretty good, buddy.
A little practice.
I'll throw you a compliment.
It's all about the handbrake, man. You got to figure out that handbrake.
And the moonshine was secure in the trunk? I just want to make sure of that.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's what it reminded me of.
we had some Pennzoil bottles in the trunk ready to go.
Okay.
That might not taste so good.
We'll celebrate with that when we're done here, okay? We got some business to handle, and I know on that, Kurt, you're jealous, huh?
I am a little bit, but hey, I got to do a cool speed run down to Key West.
That was cool too.
Driving a NASCAR car 200 miles an hour. It's a privilege to be able to do what we do on track, but when you can get our untamed beasts out on the open road, that's fun.
Well, I think showing too that we can do more than one thing, right? We can do more than just turn left. We can do, obviously you see us here with road courses and super speedways and whatnot, but drifting and taking our cars off the racetrack or something really unique. I think the fans really enjoy it.
Occasionally, I get in the left lane when I'm going up Interstate 85.
Ooh, yeah.
That's how aggressive I get.
Don't go too far out of your box there, Adam.
Understand it was too many men over the wall for the 54 of Ty Dillon, who is on the damaged vehicle clock, and so it's not good for him. And you saw the 02 of Brett Moffitt, who is on the hook and going to the garage. His day is done prematurely. Both those guys were in the top 10 when the caution came out for the 8th time, and they crashed on the back straightaway. So a little reset here. Daniel Hemrick leads. He's led the most laps today, 72 circuits out front. Allmendinger, Jones, Annett, and Gregson the top 5. The restart is coming. Here's what's next week.
Racing in the Wild West continues as the Xfinity drivers leave Las Vegas and head down Route 93 to Phoenix. Things are known to get a little heated at this 1 mile of mayhem.
Here we go.
Oh, this is about to get crazy.
Hard into the wall.
So cool off, relax, and enjoy the action only on FS1.
Looking forward to next Saturday from the Desert Mile. It's kind of a short track, right? 5 p.m. Eastern time is when the coverage begins on FS1. Joey's in the booth again with Daniel Suarez, his first ever trip up here with us.
My amigo. We're going to have a great time up there. It's going to be a lot of fun at Phoenix. Great racetrack. Lots of variables with the PJ1 there. There's no telling what it's going to be, so I'm excited about doing that one as well.
I'll be tuned in watching you guys. I always love watching Phoenix and just seeing how the track lays into Sunday's race with the PJ1 spray. Choose rule. What we got? Hemrick picking the outside. Allmendinger chooses inside, of course. See the majority going to the high side. Those guys go left because of the others choosing high. And then it starts to kind of just shake out 50-50 as this thing plays out.
What I thought was interesting there is Annett decided to lose a row to get to the outside, so we'll see how that plays out for him.
Brandon Jones goes with the outside lane. He'll restart behind his teammate.
He smoked him at that last restart. That 10-4 is where we shine right here at the end, these last restarts.
I got a feeling this isn't the last caution. Just one of those gut feelings.
I was just pulling my belts a little bit tighter right now. Just getting ready. This is exactly it. This is what you put yourself in position for, is to be in the top 2-3 rows, right, Joey? I mean, it's very difficult if you're back. I don't know about behind Cindric. That's gonna be tough to come from. But those guys up in the front, they're the ones that got a shot to win right now.
9 cautions last night here for the Camping World Truck Series. That was a 200-mile event. We've already had 8 today for these Xfinity cars, and there will be 13 laps remaining.
And you got the wild man in the 9. He's in 3rd. So you can imagine he's probably going to put a 3 wide if he has the opportunity.
Checker records. Come on, Gregson. Go for it, buddy.
Home track.
Don't let us down. This is going to be a great restart. Getting them all spooled up, tires are cleaned off, and here's the launch. Pretty calm so far. Let's see if anybody jumps out of line. Cindric's going to go to the middle, but no.
Allmendinger's going to clear him off of turn 2. As that bottom restart's happened a couple times today.
Isn't it like where the guy gave up the bottom lane to choose the outside, and Allmendinger is now your leader. Back to the bottom, and to choke off that air from the 18 car. He is digging now.
Watch Brandon Jones.
He's not done yet. We've seen that he has a great short run car.
Which way will he go, Joey? What do you think? Is he going to go to the middle?
Anywhere he can go. Anywhere there's clean air. Look at the block down in the turn 1 from Allmendinger, giving Brandon Jones a run up top. Oh, he better block the top too.
Those guys are now side by side, but Brandon Jones is flexing his muscle. Oh, he went back down to the bottom. He's going to be right behind him in all that dirty air. It's going to kind of take away a little bit of that momentum. It's going to now take about another lap or so to spool back up. But these guys are giving it everything they have right now. All those guys, top 6, digging. And now they're just kind of fanning out, trying to sort out, is my car good bottom, car good middle? I've got to give it everything I've got right now with 11 to go. Cindric pops out of line, looking to the inside. And Noah kind of pinches him down a little bit.
And a reminder, Big East College basketball is coming up next on FS1. If you're tuning in for Seton Hall and St. John's, you can watch it now on the Fox Sports app. 10 laps to go. A.J. Allmendinger leading in front of Daniel Hemrick and Brandon Jones. Gregson remains in 4th. Cindric is 5th in front of Michael Annette. And back behind him, a big old mess coming off the corner.
Wow, I mean, it is tight back there. Wow. Holy cow, guys, this is tight. A lot of cars trying to move their way back up. You see Harrison Burton trying to move it back up after his spin. This is tight.
They look like shopping carts when they're stacking them at the mall.
That black 26, Sam Hunt Racing, Santino Ferrucci.
Yes. And I thought we heard under yellow that he had another set of tires, and he's out there digging with those.
They were holding out on us. He's on stickers and making a little rally here.
One thing I just saw, the top 3 guys just ran their fastest laps on that restart of all day. That's how hard they're pushing right now, giving it everything. And Allmendinger is stretching it out. Looks like Allgaier still struggling a little bit with a loose condition. Burton looking underneath him.
You don't want to be loose in this situation.
Oh, no.
He's trying to side draft, even protect the top. He gets the push from the 26. I mean, oh boy.
Oh. Somehow they just sorted all that out.
How have they not crashed yet? They've been crashing for 5 laps. They just haven't spun out yet.
Logano predicted at least one more caution. Somehow we've avoided it. 7 laps to go, and the advantage for A.J. Allmendinger just over a second.
Look at him just laying it down. Right now he's cranking it out, executing perfectly, running the low lane and getting everything out of his car he possibly can. That College Chevy is hooked up.
He's such a great story. He's run everything, right? I mean, he's been a part of so many different levels of racing, different types of race cars, found a home in NASCAR, ran full-time, and won in the Cup Series at Watkins Glen for JTG Doherty Racing a number of years ago. Decided he was going to back away from full-time racing. And Matt Collig and Chris Rice got a hold of him and brought him back into the fold. Part-time a season ago, and this year running a 3rd full-time car for Collig. And he has come out of the gate strong and trying to win on an oval for the 2nd time in his NASCAR career.
We've got Ferrucci, who's a rookie in a sense, and then Allgaier thought he was going to go up, and he did not. And now, hopefully he doesn't have too much of a fender rub. Oh, that left rear has been rubbed off pretty good on Ferrucci's car. Hopefully it hangs in there for the rest of the race.
Hopefully for Allmendinger, it hangs in there, right? I mean, you don't want anything bad to happen to Ferrucci, but another caution here would mean another restart. And keep in mind, the Xfinity Series has gone to overtime in 4 consecutive races dating to the season finale in 2020.
Hey, one thing I learned earlier is we're listening to Chris Rice and the whole combination. Well, we got Cindric to the inside of Gregson here real quick. Is he going to be able to clear him? He looks clear to me. Yeah, that's a nice pass for 4th. back to Allmendinger and being able to give more feedback to the team and to develop the team and to feel like his information is being utilized. That takes good team chemistry for that manager to understand what the engineering side needs, the chassis build side, and the driver side of it. I mean, there's endless combinations, right, Joey, of how you develop a team to turn it into winning teams like this.
And you may think that just hiring the best people is the way to go every time. No, it's chemistry. You have to be able to work with those people too, and everyone be able to work together, just like any other professional sport or even in any industry. You know that team, that the people that you work with day in, day out have to be great and have to be able to work together somehow. And that's what you see with Colleague, and you see obviously with AJ fitting in there perfectly. Kind of as their lead driver, you can see that right now as is up front with 2 to go.
And congratulations to all of them, because each of their 3 drivers inside the top 10 right now.
Impressive stuff. There they are, just yarding it out. I mean, there's not much Hemrick can do right now. He's over a second behind. He's giving it everything he's got, but it just shows the strength. But there it is, the Colleague running order. 1st, 8th, 10th. That right there is a successful trip to Vegas when you want to cash in on some points and some chips.
White flag is out, sponsored by Credit One Bank. AJ Allmendinger trying to bring it home in Las Vegas.
Executed perfectly. Allmendinger's now starting to turn into this this mile-and-a-half ringer, not just a road course ringer.
Walked away from full-time racing, but now he is back, and he's going to the playoffs in the Xfinity Series. Off of turn 4, 6th career victory, AJ Allmendinger wins.
There you go. Congratulations.
I love the emotion.
Really, really good job all day.
That is great. And the other guys are crossing the line. Everybody's kind of in the same position as they were when they took the white. Again, congratulations to Colleague Racing. Excellent work.
I love that you can be doing this for so long.
Thanks for making us better. Way to go, Colleague Racing. Here comes your little son. Here comes your son. I love you, man. Thank you, Matt Colleague.
I love that AJ's been doing this for so long and still gets that fired up about winning a race. That's the way it's supposed to be. This stuff is hard. It's not supposed to be easy, and winning means that much. Proud for him.
And you said it, Kurt, to me forever. He's a driver that was known for his ability on road courses. But last year, running part-time, won at Atlanta Motor Speedway. First time he had ever won on an oval. And here he is again, and I think he is serving notice, especially when you consider how good he is on those road courses. He's going to be a player for this championship.
And what we watched last week at Homestead Miami, even though they didn't win the race, they were up front. They were in the mix all day, and the mile-and-a-halfs that we just ran on, these two might look like cookie cutters, Homestead and Vegas, but they're not. They race completely different, tire combos different, and this race today was a big statement for AJ Allmendinger in 2021.
8th win all time for Matt Colleague is an owner. 4 of those trophies delivered by AJ Allmendinger. A pair of wins on the Charlotte Roval, last year at Atlanta, and today he is the man cashing in at Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
Isn't that great? You can hear the crowd noise. It's so great to have fans back at the track.
This is always a hard part for me because I always want my team around me at this moment. I want to celebrate with everybody, and you're by yourself at the moment. It's still a great moment. Don't get me wrong. You won the race. Nothing could be bad.
Nah, it's just that thrill of victory. Soak it all in, and the camera work is great. And we're seeing some of the emotion.
Jamie Little.
Adam, you talked about it. He was part-time last year, just came back to have a little bit of fun. AJ, you're back here full-time. You pulled it off. What are the emotions? What are you thinking about right now?
First of all, it's awesome to have you all back in the grandstands. That's the most important thing. Without all of you at home, we can't do this. So thank you so much for showing up, packing this place. So, hey, Jamie, how you doing?
Not as good as you right now, my friend.
Just, It's emotional because, hell, you don't know when you're going to do this again. You know, you never know. This could be the last win. I don't know. I hope it's not. I think we can do a lot more. But Matt Collig, first of all, I love you, man. Everybody at Collig Companies, Ellsworth Advisors, Leaf Filter, Leaf Home Solutions, Nutrient Ag, Hyper Ice for coming on board. All of you. ECR, these motors were stupid fast. Chevrolet, and especially Xfinity for putting this great series on, allowing us to come out here and run. So, yeah, it's just emotional. Matt gives me these opportunities, Chris Rice, all the men and women at Collig Racing that are here and back home that have made this possible. They're working their tails off. And I know every team says that, and I'm sure they are, but we put so much effort in to make these cars better, and it's shown the first 4 weeks. Didn't get the finishes we wanted the first couple, but it's just emotional. Even though I'm back full time, and you know, I say, I mean, this is fun, but I want to win so bad for Matt every week. It's hard to put into words what he means to me, and truly how bad I want to win for him. It's in a different way, but it's the same theory of wanting to win for Roger Penske. I mean, it means that much to me that he believes in me, and so Matt, I love you, man, I so much. So thank you for this opportunity, because I don't take it for granted. I work my tail off during the week, and I'm having fun with it, but gosh, it's like I'm so ill before the race because I just want to go win for Matt Collig.
Well, the runner-up for the 8th time in his career, Daniel Hemrick. It pains me to have to say that. You were oh so close again, but a lot of positives you can take from today.
Yeah, for sure. First off, so proud of the rebound for my pit crew this week. So proud of everyone on this Poppy Bank, Toyota Supra. Man, these JGR cars are so fast, and you hate to have one get away like that, but you know, we came here, heck, you and I talked this morning, said we wanted to try to have more speed to lead laps and win stages, and we did that today. Lined up with a shot there, and just got beat. Congratulations to AJ, just got beat.
Another solid day for Daniel Hemrick, who's in the top 5 for a 3rd consecutive week. Great job by you, Joey and Kurt. Final thoughts today.
Just an absolutely incredible race, right? When you think that something's going to be just a regular finish to the end, caution comes out late. Absolutely incredible restarts and great driving by those drivers out there to see that 3-4 wide racing contact, and no one spun out.
Yeah, the way I looked at that race and the way it unfolded, Hemrick won the race off pit road. He just lost the race on that restart. Allmendinger put it to him on that inside lane and drove away.
Good luck to you both tomorrow. We'll see you with race day starting here on FS1 at 2 p.m. Eastern time. What a day it was. A.J. Allmendinger, a winner for the 4th time in his last 16 starts, and he's going to the playoffs. 4 races this year, 4 different winners in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. We'll see you next weekend from Phoenix. Our coverage from the Desert Mile on Saturday starts at 5 p.m. Eastern time. Tomorrow it's Cup Racing from Las Vegas, presented by Jiffy Lube. Now let's go to Kevin Burkhardt and Jim Jackson. It's Seton Hall and St. John's on FS1. Enjoy, everybody.